First, find a drill bit that is approximately the same size as the barrel of the Rivnut. Find the drill. Make sure that you're on 1 for low speed. Make sure that on the forward reverse toggle, make sure it's set to forward. The arrow should be facing forward. Make sure that the teeth of the chuck are wide enough that the drill bit can go between all three, and then spin it down by hand. Make sure it is tight, and then make sure it is in between all three of the teeth. On the torque limiter, I would set it all the way up to maximum because we're drilling. Whichever hole you do doesn't matter. Pick the one that's most stripped out and damaged, and you can drill that one out. I'm going to apply a little bit of WD-40. Any oil or lubricant will do. You just need to reduce the amount of friction going on. And then don't push too hard. Again, make sure the drill is in low speed. Our goal here is to not generate too much heat. I'm going to pause and apply a little more WD-40. Make sure the friction stays low. There. We just punched all the way through. You'll notice it does take a while on low speed, but that's okay. I'm going to run the drill for a minute to clear out any chips. Now that those chips are gone, I'm going to wipe out all the chips off the drill bit, and then I'm going to use the shop vac and now that I've got most of the bits out, I'll use a rag. There's a good chance there are sharp edges on here though, which will make it hard to get the Rivnut to sit flat and could also cut you if you run your fingers across. So I'm going to grab just a standard screwdriver bit in there. I'm going to run it around those edges. I'm going to try to scrape off any sharp spots, make sure the inside is smooth. That's going to make it easier to get the Rivnut in place. You will almost always have some sort of leftover burr like that when you drill through a piece of thin sheet metal. Go grab the Rivnut tool, and I think the easiest way to do this is to back off, remove this piece, and then go find the correct size Rivnut mandrel. In this case, I'm doing an M4. There should be 2 pieces inside of there. I'm going to take the first one. That standard thread should fit inside here. I'm going to thread him down. I'm going to make sure that this little collar is slipped down, and then it'll slide back up. Now you might have, it won't slide up immediately. You might have to kind of move this a little, but that locks that in. So when you spin this handle, the whole thing rotates. After that, go ahead and slide this guy on. Slide him back down. And then slide the cap on inside there. Once you have everything set up, bring the handles up to extend that full distance and thread on your Rivnut until the flange is against the base. After that, slide the Rivnut inside with the handles extended and then squeeze down while keeping it in place. It does take a little bit of force. After that, you can raise the handles a little and start unthreading it with the release knob. And that is your fully installed Rivnut. Now for the record, these will not fit it perfectly. The first time you drive the screw in, you're still going to wind up cutting new threads like they did originally, but it will hold rock solid after that. Once you are done, make sure that you do the reverse of what we did to get to this point. Unthread the pieces and put them away. You will need to retract that collar, just like you did previously. Make sure the mandrel pieces go back inside the container that they came from, which is labeled M4. And make sure that the round barrel here that supports everything is screwed back in place for the next group. And that's all. Grab a 7mm socket, attach it to your driver, and the first time you put a screw in, you will have to push fairly hard because you're actually cutting in with that sheet metal screw.